Shall we start, Prakash?
Yeah, absolutely. You have to take the lead today.
Yeah. So more people joining in, that's okay. But we can start with very brief introductions of yourself and myself and on the agenda, and then get into the agenda for the day today. Uh, Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rajiv Sood, and I welcome you to this webinar. I have with me Prakash from Microsoft. So between me and Prakash, we will try and give you a perspective as to how Microsoft technology solutions and capabilities and the innovations which Microsoft is continuously bringing in the market is making a significant impact on the businesses. We as organizations are focusing on the distribution industry, manufacturing and the distribution industry. So I'll be talking largely about very specific point solutions, which we have got it ready for CPG industry. And I'll also be demonstrating a few of these solutions, talk about salient features in there, and then Prakash will also give us a perspective as how Microsoft is seeing technology making a significant impact on the in the FMCG space. So that's what our agenda for today would be. A very quick round of introduction. Prakash is a veteran in the IT industry, spent more than 25 years, and I think more than 12, 13 years in Microsoft itself, and have worked in the organizations in Tata Group and Sonata and few more in the past, and very seasoned professional with tons of experience, not only from a technology perspective but also from customer related applications is a key focus where Prakash has significantly contributed. Organizations like us, we depend a lot on Prakash for technology inputs to kind of sharpen our solutions and bring them to you so that the businesses can get impacted. And Prakash comes with a BE degree from Mumbai University and an MBA from Nasi Munji. And my name is Prakash. Welcome and many thanks for joining. Uh, my name is Rajiv Sood. I take care of the business for Zoxima Solutions. We are a premium partner for Microsoft, rather a boutique partner for Microsoft. I come with an engineering MBA and a law degree, and have been in the industry for similar 25 years plus. And enterprise space is where I have worked in the past before we started this company around 8, 9 years before. And we've been focused on the distribution solutions, as I said. And FMCG is a focus vertical for us, where we are bringing in new solutions, new innovations. That's a little bit of introduction of mine and Prakash. What I will start with, why the agenda for the webinar is very clear, is that we have a plethora of solutions addressing the FMCG or CPG industry requirements. Um, uh, and there are certain things which we have got it extremely ready to deploy in a very quick span of time, and which where the organizations can start their transformational journeys, and then systems can evolve horizontally and vertically extend, both from a functionality, technology advancements perspective, and there's a continuous process of reaping the benefits which organizations will do. So that's what I will talk about. um, I hope my slides are coming up. So what we are there are few things which are happening, and where the IT is playing a very vital role. One is the communication and the information. While we always have been talking about ICT, information communication technology, but the way today we are talking about the way communication, especially in the post-pandemic arena, where we have Teams or Zoom or all those kind of online channels, or WhatsApp making a significant impact, or bots making significant impact, and intelligent bots making significant impact. So there is a whole lot of communication, collaboration happening, along with the information systems or the applications, which are sales, distributors, retailers, promoters, or BTL activity teams would be doing in the market. And then all these are actually nothing but the connected systems, using very smart applications. Today there are a lot of interventions from AI perspective, which are making a lot of impact on the business. So it's not only about applications or transactional automations. It is making those applications more intelligent, and also ensuring that there are productivity enhancements which happen across, and there is a real-time communication and collaboration happening between the teams, the extended teams, the customers, the partners, and there is a full amount of motivation, or knowledge dissemination, which is happening to our own teams, for a very, very smooth and a progressive operation. So that's how with what IT has been doing. If I talk about CPG industry or FMCG industry, so to rural penetration is a key. So whatever applications we give, from an offline working perspective, or there are other modern trades or quick commerce or D2C, a kind of requirements which needs to coexist. So there is a huge amount of dynamism. One is a traditional retail, which has a distributor, retailer, and all that. And then there are rural areas where we penetrate, where we'll have a very different kind of challenges, where not only from a technology, from a connectivity and all that perspective, but also from driving, the logistics and all that. So that's playing a very important role. I'll talk more about it in my subsequent slides. And then there are a lot of I should say unique expectations within CPG industry, which could be related to the assets we give to our channels, or there is a need for compliances, ad hoc invoicing, inventory controls when the inventory is actually floating on the field, and many a times there is a billing required to be done on the fly, and replenishment being tracked, and all that. So those are the things which are also making significant impact on how we are managing competition and driving penetration in the market. And then there are standard things on the tracking of competition, shelf life, and also many a times we will have multiple sources and multiple channels to fulfill the market, even on the contract manufacturing, or contract packaging, or all those areas also, which makes the logistics, the fulfillment, the time to market differentiations. There are a lot of areas where automations are playing a vital role. And essentially, what we have seen is there have been very siloed informations which have been existing. There is a SFA application somebody would use a DMS application, which may not be talking to the sales application. There could be another application for managing large customers. There could be application for sales promoters. There could be applications for retail EBOs kind of scenarios. So there are very, very complex requirements, and each organization has its own transformational journey, and each micro vertical will have its own requirements, be it is from a shelf life and material return policies, freshness or compliances, in terms of storing of material, from hygiene perspective, could also be you can say making an impact. So this is what we look at it from a perspective where there is a lot of dynamism in the market, and technology is at the forefront of all of this. And how Microsoft and Zoxima are playing a role is something which I'll talk about, and I demonstrate few of these applications. As the organizations on Microsoft, we work extensively on something called as a low code, no code power platform, which means that we can actually develop applications and deliver applications on the fly. So if I think about a process automation, I need not wait for months together to get those processes on applications. I can create web applications, mobile applications, Android, iOS on the fly, and I can embed AI, I can embed RPA capabilities, and I can embed various capabilities in those applications on the fly, and that the journey can continue. So it's about visualization of my specific needs in the market, and then traveling that journey ahead of competition. While we have many of these things ready deployable, but then that's where the journey would start. So whether it is a distributor management system, a Salesforce automation from secondary sales, primary sales, most of the applications today which exist, in the SFA side may not cover the primary side of the business. They generally focus on the secondary side. Of course, we also do, but then there could be some areas where we'll have large enterprise customers or large retail formats where we need to manage relationships in a very different way. Similarly, a van sales or a van could be, and not exactly a van, but could be a smaller scooter also, or any other mechanism where the free stocks are carried and built on the fly with everything GST and all that being taken care of. Or for that matter, a sales promoter on the modern trade, how he is kind of interacting with customer, capturing customer feedback, even at times doing invoicing from mobile devices, or running customer enrollment programs and all that. And also there are a lot of compliances which can happen in those promoters, which could be in modern trade, it could be in the BTL activities we carry out for promotions, or it could be a direct activities which we enable our teams to visit consumers directly, take feedback, enroll them, and all that. So that is also happening in a big way in our industry. So it is not limited to a SFA or a DMS or a ban application so there is or even a retail application on a EBO. We'll have milk booths being set up, very exclusive products being sold, or we have exclusive outlets, on the beauty products and all that. So and this is innovations are coming in there, but we would have applications ready on that, considering the requirement of that industry. So that's what we as organizations have been doing. Significant experience of working with organizations like Diageo, Visionary, Paragon, and many more. A Sync Post or Adidas, or Avon beauty products. So or even a sugar alcohol organizations. So that's what we bring in terms of very smart applications which have capability of working offline. We're connected, which is unified communication. Whether it is WhatsApp, SMS, email, Teams, or whatever, and then ability to extend. It's not only what we deliver today as a full-blown application or as a point application which we drive it in 6 weeks, but also a whole life, I should say, a life cycle of deployment where newer applications, newer processes, newer interventions, newer AI scenarios can be added on the fly. So that's what we bring, and this all on Microsoft cloud systems on a single data application, so that we are not talking about complex integrations, and it's not that technology we have to manage. We have to manage business, and technology actually supports the business in no time. That's what Prakash would be talking about more on the low code initiatives with Satya Nadella I've been talking about, or the voice initiatives or AI initiatives which Microsoft is driving. So while Prakash will talk about that, I will directly get into what is that we bring in and demonstrate these solutions. I will probably come back to this slide in terms of in a 6 weeks kind of deployment, what is that we will give and all that. But before that, I would like to take you through the applications. A few of these applications, they are not all that, because in a limited time I may not be able to demonstrate just about everything. But I would touch largely on, say, a Salesforce automation, distributor automation, a van sales automation, where stock is being carried out and built on the fly, and payments being collected in the markets and all that. I will demonstrate that and then come back to this particular slide. If you have any questions, please keep on putting in the chat section, and towards the end of the presentation, I will, me and Prakash will take up those questions and clarify, and we will seek your participation, active participation. That's how we will see, the success of the discussion which we are having and the presentations which we are having today. I hope my again. Let me start with what is that we are bringing in, and what is that we'll talk about. So we talk about Salesforce automations, field automations, beats, distributor management systems, auto managements. If there are new enterprise kind of customers or large format customers, the management of that, the analytics, the AI components, the invoicing, and even the integration to a ERP, and sales, field sales automation, which I would and a van sales kind of module. So if I start with if maybe I'll start with some dashboards, which where we can the systems comes with extremely good capabilities. Prakash, my slides are there.
Yes, I can see.
It's coming, Raju.
Just 1 second, I think. Just 1 second.
Now they are no longer there.
Yeah, just give me a minute. I'm sorry. Yeah. Yeah.
Can see now.
Is it back now? Okay. So we, there is a whole lot of analytics which is built on Microsoft Power BI. Very powerful tool to view information, slice and dice information, be it as distributor performance, their targets, versus actuals, the secondary sales, product wise, retailer wise information, how which are the products which are selling the most in a particular territory, how a retailer is performing, what is the collection parameters, and we can slice and dice information, and these views are available for users, duly configured, and they can be sliced and diced looking at their information requirements. So what I'm saying is there is a powerful analytical engine, and there are views which are available in the product, which can be readily be used to look at sales team performance, distributor performance, retailer performance, scheme performances, or key accounts performances, or any other applications which we are running. I will give you a perspective as to how a sales application would be functioning on the field, This is again a low-code developed application on Power Platform with a lot of AI components built in. Maybe in the 6 weeks delivery time, there'll be functionalities which will be state jacketed, will come and just fit in there, and then there could be the product which I'm demonstrating to you is a full blown product, and few of these capabilities can be further added on the fly. So a salesperson can look at how is he performing, what is his incentives. The system gives him nudges as to what is that he needs to do to be more productive. What is that counter he has to visit, which is the activity he has to perform in the market so that he can achieve his numbers. And that these are proactive AI-based nudges. Similarly, he can see his performance, his Power BI dashboards, whether it's various KPIs. Could be order booking, could be sales, could be collection, could be his visits, retailer onboarding, all the data, all any kind of KPIs which normally FMCG industry would be using, we will have it ready, and they can be used right straight away. Similarly, his DSRs, his weekly reports, how many orders he has collected, what is the value of the orders he has collected, how many visits he has done, how many counters he has visited, all that are available to him on his app. In addition to the dashboards and the reports and the KPIs which we talk about. So there is a planning engine available to him. There is a fixed beats. He can have fixed beats, or there could be defined beats, or could be JP also be defined. But normally on a 6 weeks project will come with fixed beats kind of concept. But if there is anything which we would need more, the system has the capability, the tool has the capability, and we can look at what has been the target achievement, counters visited, effective visits, all that. Just about to know how what is this. He can then see his visits, start his visit, and then carry out the activities which he needs to do. Now, when he's visiting, he actually system gives him a perspective as to what is that he needs to do. Whether he has to the overdue collection at the counter, or there is a scheme which the counter is likely to be missing out, and he needs to talk about it, or there is another activity which needs to be done on a BTL side. So the system actually looks at the data, looks at the performance, looks at the rules and the AI capabilities, and actually nudges him as to how can his visit be more effective. That's what he gets as support from the system. Then he can capture various things which he needs to do, visibility level, competition information. So there are a lot of components of AI plugins which are standard Microsoft plugins which we have used. It could be from image to text, could be from voice and all that. So we can just capture pictures so that his life is easy. He has not to do too much of a data entry. He can talk to the system. He can carry some pictures. He can straight away the system tells him what is it, converts it into data, gives it, and whatever he needs to do, he does that. If there is a shelf life, shelf visibility needs to be captured, which are the product of the rules need to be there, that my products have to be so and so visible, cannot be placed with so and so product. So that those rules can also be triggered and alerts being there. Similarly, there is a tight integration of Bing Maps and Google Maps. So we can do route planning and route optimizations with time and distance. Then he can do his order booking. You can look at the products, promoted products, discounted products, and so on and so forth. And there are item level category, subcategory, subcategory kind of configurations which makes the system very versatile for collecting orders, be it from cases, individual products, depending upon the organization philosophy. This will be configured so the discounts, the pricing, everything gets applied. And while he's placing orders, so the system can give him a nudge as to if there is a scheme getting applicable, then maybe you could order more and you'll get into the next level of the scheme or next level of the loyalty. Or there is a promoted product available with this particular product, so order that. So there is a system which kind of prompts the salesperson, which he can talk to the counter, and then similarly there is integration with RosaPay or any other payment applications for collections, for Paytm, or online payments or cash. And then he can collect money from any of these counters. Could be a primary counter, could be a secondary counter also. So the training requirements, the stock, the visits history, the payments, all this he can make a note and collect. And system keeps a track of what he's doing, but what all information he needs from the system perspective to carry out. So and then there is a he can add new counters into the system. It could be and carry out KYCs, financial information, carry basic documentations, and the whole process can take off. Again, if you look at it, you need not actually onboard or a counter by typing in data. It clicks a picture of the counter, the data gets populated. If there is a GST number and all that, we can take GST APIs, verify it from the GST portal, and then the subsequent onboarding process can start, including the credit management and all that, or the financial health management of the. There are third-party verificators we need to involve. We can do that also in the onboarding process itself. So there is a whole lot of data which we can capture and utilize in our subsequent interactions, so that our business stays healthy, not by getting good information at all times, including the initiation times, whether it's a bank detail or an information detail or compliance requirements. There could be compliance requirements from storage of the products. Could be certain products which will require licensing, or some drug license to be available for us to keep that product. So we can actually have that embedded in the system and see when is that there or not there, or when is the next due for the renewal of that license. Similarly, the expense part of the application is there. So both outstation local expenses get calculated on a Google basis by themselves, by the system itself, and you can have rules to optimize it further in case it is required and go through the approval process. Or the expenses can be there for individuals, for the team, for local conveyance, for hotel bills, for food bills. And again, there are components of AI which can work in terms of managing limits and sending it for approvals, either through the application or over the Teams network. So one thing which is very, very important to highlight here is that the productivity tools, which could be Microsoft Teams, could be Microsoft Office products, or say from a B2B perspective, the LinkedIn channel integration, or WhatsApp integration, or a bot integration. All these are something which will increase the productivity to a huge level. So, and how innovatively we are doing that it makes a huge difference. I'll not jump into a van sales application, which means that the scenario here is that there is a free stock of material, could be basis the order which has been booked yesterday, or a demand which has been booked, or it could be just a free stock which the person wants to carry. So in the market, and then visit counters, book their orders, do the invoicing, collect the money, take material which is back, take some information, come back and give it, return to the base, give the material which has not been used back, or which has been returned, or the money which has been collected. I will talk this particular application can be used in various scenarios within the CPG industry. So we look at a van, typically a GRN, a gate pass being made, and not a GRN, sorry, a gate pass being made where the the van has to carry a free stock. It could be a mobile guy, carrying a lot of packets and all that of either chips or pan masala or whatever. And so he carries he loads the stuff, gets a gate passed on, and then takes his goes on his beat to basically book orders and deliver material and carry money. So he has his beats. He knows what counters he has to visit. He visits that counter, goes to that counter, collects. He can book cases on individual products depending on the SKUs the organization has, and then immediately is while on the fly his stock is being managed in what he's carrying with himself, and then he's able to confirm the order, generate the invoice from there, and GST, the QR code and all that gets connected. He's able to, if it is a cash sales he has to do, so he collects he knows the amount. He can generate a QR code for a Paytm kind of payment or an online payment link or a cash collection, and carry on with the rest of his beat. And similarly, he can look at what are the orders, what are the replacement orders, what are the free of charge orders. If there are returns of empties, typically would happen. He can look at all those informations which are available to him on the fly. Then what is the the billing party, the line items within those orders. He can look at and then appropriately take actions. Similarly, he has all the payment information which he has to do. What has been the trends? What are the outstandings? What is the cash he needs to be collecting? What is the check? What is the coupon? If there is a coupon system implemented. Similarly, he will have his inventory availability at all times with him. Whatever has been he carried it through, what has been built so far, and what is that he contains it along with them. Similarly, he can look at various processes from gate pass to onboarding to van transfers from one van to another van, or for order booking, replacements, or empty containers back, or payment stocks. Everything he has on his in his mobile device, even including the printing of invoice to a printer, which he can carry alongside. He can print invoice, give it to him straight away, and in the back end it gets into accounting system. So he has all his dashboards, whether it's that regarding order booking, invoicing, demand for the coming day, or free of cost material which he has to do, and he can he has all that information available to him. This is a demand capture, like he's capturing the demand for tomorrow as to what is that he would be required to carry tomorrow into the market, so that the next day gate pass is built on the projections he's doing it in the market today. It may not. It may be against confirmed order, or it may be against that the demand he sees in the market, and then able to do that. And then there are settlements that once he comes back, he is able to see what are the currency notes he's carrying, how much cash he's carrying. If there is a discrepancy of the cash, then what needs to be done in terms of actual debit to the person, the driver, the sales guy who's carrying it. And if there is a return material required, then how do we do with that, both in terms of the stock as well as the GST part of it. So everything with the good material, the cash, the return material, all that is tallied, and then the next day journey starts. So that was about the van sales application. So what we have seen so far is a sales application for the sales teams. What we've seen is a van application for the free stock and the van or the confirmed order. It could be any scenario. We can cover that. And now we look at a distributor application. There are a few other applications which we have, which I may not be able to demonstrate, but this will give you a fair amount of idea as to the capabilities which we have been able to exploit, which Microsoft technologies bring in. And it's not that while there is a fixed scope which we will deploy in quick 6 weeks time. But then the way the technology is oriented is that the journey would actually start there. So whereas a lot of times we have seen in many large FMCG organizations also that the products come with such fixed mindset that they just you can't just expand. You are just you feel stuck after a time. That's a key differentiator which I'm sure Prakash will cover in his team. I will take another five minutes to cover the distributor system and then come and talk about what is that we given in 6 weeks time before I hand it over to Prakash. On the distributor side, we have a complete distributor management system. So there's a portal available, there's an app available. So you can have branding, you can have its performance parameters, you can see his invoicing, you can have notifications. He can set up team channels with the salespersons or support persons, and everything is kind of built in the system. So there is nothing which is outside the system. So there is accountability, whatever is happening. So there is a chat bot available. He can carry information from and gather information on a chat bot. He can query whatever he needs to query. There's a bot. This is a plug-in bot with absolutely very minimal effort and query coding. The bot is available. Similarly, he can look at his own details, the credit information, the sales teams which are supporting him, his warehouses, the support teams, the loyalty points, the scheme information which is available to him on the fly. Similarly, he can do his secondary orders. Primary orders can be done both on an auto ordering on replenishment mode basis the stocks, or it can be again ordered. So here we are looking at he has various beats and he can look at what are the open orders. He can then whenever there is a retailer order, he can book that order in for that particular beat, and for the products again, the item selection, the ease of ordering is being taken care of by in the whole application. This is one way of ordering. I'm showing it to you, but there are other ways of ordering which can be enabled if there are other complexities involved. But this is fairly decent order booking scheme. So once the orders are booked, then he has to generate invoices. He has to look at the stocks which are available, prioritize the supplies. Like he may have more orders and maybe lesser material, then he has to prioritize how we'll reach supply. So the invoicing gets generated, the e-invoice gets generated here, the GSP things are taken care of from a distributor to a retailer perspective. Similarly, when he is kind of loading on a truck, which are the orders which needs to be carried on a truck or a delivery van for a particular beat, he can then print a challan, give it to that guy, he goes and delivers it. So those are the capabilities, not only from an invoicing perspective, but also stock management, also intelligent way of managing and supplying and fulfilling orders, and looking at the priorities and the type of the customer he's dealing with. Similarly, retailer information, retailer 360 is available. His orders, his invoices, credit, KYC, complaints, stock at the retail counters, which can be captured by the sales teams or by the distributor sales guys. And then also, in terms of the ordering, when and I spoke about that the system kind of looks at what the inventory are, what are the expected orders, which are the orders in pipeline, and then you can make a stock requisition. This is one way of ordering, but it could be ordering basis a simple ordering also, or based on the targets which we would have set up. So there could be various ways of distributor ordering on the company, and then it is directly through a ERP integration going into the ERP for fulfillment to a distributor. there is a Aadhaar-based OTP confirmation available in the system for balance confirmations with the distributors, where the Aadhaar number and the OTP, so that there is a accountability to that. So that is what I had to present on the product. I'll go back um, to my slide and talk about what is that we do in a quick deployment 6 weeks mode, and then I'll give it to Prakash. Prakash, I'll just take 3-4 more minutes.
Sure, Rajiv. This is far more important.
So here we're talking about, say, if I talk about a sales application, so we're talking about attendance, visit, market information, party onboarding, complaint management, order management, product price, and booking orders. Just a minute. Just one second. Yeah. Analytics part of it and the payments. If there is primary integration, we will also integrate it with the ERP. Of course, there has to be a readiness to be done. We have templates, which I'll talk about. So in the whole program, there is a pre-contracting stage where we talk about the list of functionalities. There is a standard checklist of functionalities which will come. We'll decide as to what is that we need to implement, and then we have an agreement even before we actually sign a contract with you. And then in the implementation cycle, there is a standard methodology which I'll talk about in the day-wise methodology for deployment, where we would tell you as to what exactly we would need to make the agreed scope live with you in that limited amount of time, and what is that we need to do. Similarly, one important point which I mentioned earlier also, it's not that what we implement now. It's about how do we maintain it and how we extend that. Because a lot of these functionalities, such complex projects may take months and years to deploy. And we start with the straight functionality, get going with that, and then enhance the things. If we are already at some level of maturity and we want enhancements, then we'll have to go in a different project mode. But that all depends once we interact with you. So I would encourage all of you to leave us with your specific ask, so that we can come back to you with your specific requirements. While this is something which we have mastered and we can deploy in a very quick time. So the key aspects being the data, preparation of data, preparation of masters, in the formats which we already have ready, be it is from sales hierarchy, distribution hierarchy, or product price discounts, all that perspective, or it could be technology in preparedness, be it is from, say, integrations with WhatsApp and all that, or it could be integration with the ERP in case that is required on the primary side, if that is making a significant impact in our business. And similarly, how do we handle the change management, train the trainer concept? How do we deploy these applications? One aspect is the technology aspect, where we talk about the usability and all that, look and feel, offline use and all that. Second would be actually translating it to the field. That's where the way we manage change management, the way we manage training, the way we have material for people to refer to and get quickly start using the application, and then monitor the performance of usage of the applications on specific areas, and then improvise on that. That makes the key difference in our journey. So we have a very standard plan which would talk about a study, documentation, pilot sessions, configurations, integration testing, UAT, and go live. So very standard methodology with a lot of templatized data formats, templatized deployment formats, which we are trying to achieve. Of course, I am third time I'm repeating. This comes with some state jacketed functionality. Not all that jing bang which we would probably need in the industry, but this is a starting point. and we can very comfortably build, so that we start reaping the benefits early, and then our journey starts. So that's what I have to do. More questions will be welcome. Prakash, you can come in and talk about what is that we as a Microsoft as a technology is helping in this transformation journey, and how Microsoft vision, products, technology is kind of really futuristic, and the investments which are being done today will stay there for much longer period of time.
Sure, Ajit. Thank you. Just confirm that you can see my screen.
Yes.
So I'd like to start off by mentioning that, while we have standard products like CRM, ERP, etc., many times what happens is that the CRM, supply chain management, a lot of these don't fit all our processes. And a lot of these products originate outside India, and therefore it becomes very difficult for those to be adapted. And that's where you get into a scenario where there isn't app for what you want, which you can't buy off the shelf or the commercial off the shelf kind of apps. And that's where sometimes you have to do traditional custom app development. But once you get into custom app development, then changes are very difficult. It takes a lot of time. People change, and therefore you start seeing that you're missing a lot of opportunities to make changes. And that's where Power Platform, which is low code and also pro code development platform, comes to source to our help. And this is where it picks up when there is no one else or there is no standard app available. And we have seen at many places that while the partner comes in and starts doing the app, the company that is implementing also provides some sort of technical support through their technical teams for the partner, and together they are able to do things which therefore provide a very significant advantage, so to say. And that's what I think even Raji was trying to say. And Power Apps is all about turning bright ideas into brilliant apps. And most of the time, the ERP or the CRM, or mostly the ERP, has taken away so much time that the IT doesn't have the time and bandwidth to do anything else. And that's where this comes into play. We have a lot of success stories for the last couple of years, both outside and inside India. And I have put a video there. And when I started my presentation, I also put this link into the chat, which will get you. And in fact, I had to remove a lot of the things which the other sectors which I thought are not relevant, like banking, etc., so that you would have a limited set of apps. But when you go to these videos, you'll get a full set of stories, and you can search by Power App, Power Automate, or by industry, or by use case, or whatever. So that will help you. Quickly getting on, like here's one concept, which is again something like a person in the field, and it's for Pepsi, and similarly there's something for Coke and their India stories also, in terms of how these apps are built, how automation is put into the app for approvals, etc. And you see it's like a visual flow chart which is being done to expedite work. Then all that is useful because now you can start reporting out of it using Power BI. You can get data from different places, and some amount of reporting of all the data in the Power App itself is available in the Power App. But when you want to mix data from, let's say, the van sales app and the ERP, or the van sales app and the CRM, or any third party system, that is when Power BI comes in and becomes very strong. And then you can lay it out graphically. The visualization kind of makes it very useful for the senior leadership to start taking decisions that they want to take basis what's happening. And what we find is that when you move from paper to these kind of apps, it becomes like almost real time. By 12 o'clock, you have clear idea of how the day is going. If you're an operational manager, you can call up people or use Teams to send them messages, etc. Power Apps teams are integrated, and then start making the change. So it starts giving the operational team a plan, do, check, act cycle for something to be done during the day, and it starts giving the leadership the necessary MIS on what they need to do at a slightly long term. And the Power Platform consists of Power Apps, which has been there for quite some time, Power Automate, which has been there for quite some time. What we have added new is Power Virtual Agents and Power Pages. Power Pages will allow customers to come to websites, and the thing is called Power Pages because it's like not building a technical websites, like writing on pages kind of scenario. That's the metaphor that we want to use. So it becomes easier for partners to do it actively. And the fact there's some kind of new thing that is happening, that I might be on Rajiv's team and I'm the business analyst that's working with you, and you want to give me feedback. Both of us can get onto a Teams call, and you can also start logging in saying, I want to change this, and I start what you're trying to say, and then I immediately change it, and you see what change you wanted is done by the developer or the maker, as we call them, into your expectation. So it starts becoming a collaborative process. It's not that you give an order and then you forget it, and then someone from Rajiv's team is taking over. So that kind of thing happens. And then we have ability to build AI and many other things, which we will not be able to go through because we just have another 5 minutes to go through. Now, why is this important and how it is different from that what our competition provides? We provide a single platform for the apps, for the chatbots, for the AI, for the process mining. Like, how are your van sales happening? And is there that these sales are not happening for one particular person or one particular area or one particular van? So those kind of things you start getting out of it. And then you can start doing more with this technology. It's not about siloed tools. It's about a combination of tools. So you can go to individual competitors of ours for RPA, for apps, etc. But then you have to start stitching them together. So you should lose the benefit. For us, everything runs on our Azure cloud. So the same identities that are driving your Office 365 will drive these also. So you manage it once. So what we have is we have a single cloud. That cloud is completely secure. That cloud is completely in India. When you create a Power Apps database, let's say in one of the data centers, automatically a mirror is created in the other data center within India itself. So Bombay, Pune, Chennai is where these things run. And this whole Power Platform is built on Azure, and our Dynamics 365 sales, customer service, field service platform is built using the Power Platform. So just like Rajiv's team is building the van sales app for you, our teams have built the Dynamics 365 sales app. So they're talking to the same data structure. It's the same paradigm of development. It is the same security that is working, etc. So it can happen that 20% of your business is B2B, where you require a full-fledged CRM, but 80% of your business is distribution, van sales, etc., where you require the Power Platform. And that combination is talking to the same data structure. So there is no integration required, etc. It will all work quite synonymously. And if you are having Office 365, then again, that Office 365 Teams is integrated with Power Platform and Dynamics 365. So just like if you have a Word document on SharePoint and two people are editing, you can start seeing it. Similarly, if there's a single record in Dynamics 365 or Power Platform and two people are editing or to see doing that, they can see each other, they can start a chat, and they can start collaborating on the chat. The plan do checkout cycles that Power Platform and Dynamics provide you with the system of record. You're recording what is happening, given the invoice, collected the payment, etc. But the modern work Office 365 Teams platform brings in the platform of engagement, where you can say, I am at the customer and he's saying this, how do I answer him? So those two things automatically integrate. You don't have to do that. Versus if you go with our competition and buy different things from different places, you will have to start doing all that work. And that's the message that is coming out. So we have a CRM platform and we have an ERP platform, and each of these apps is separate. You don't have to implement everything together. You can implement things one at a time. For example, instead of trying to use our marketing to do B2C kind of marketing, you can first start small and do uh, two dealer, two channel marketing. You might have 10,000, 5,000, 6,000 people in the channel. Just start marketing to them, because most of your channel may not be captive and they might be doing compete also. So by having marketing messages going in, you can kind of start making sure that you have the mind share of the distribution channels, and therefore you get the lion's share of that business. And again, it is talking to the same data structure which is in Power Platform, because these customer engagement apps are built on Power Platform. And we have an ERP platform also, which we are not covering today. Now, So this is that integration that I was talking of. These are the different ways which is the development people work. Here's where all your data stays. This flow is used for all the integrations with SAP, for example. We have an SAP connector. So you can bring some SAP related information here, and we have started seeing that happening in India also. And this is how they build it. Now, our own teams have used this to build this Dynamics 365 applications of sales, customer service. Rajiv's team is building the van sales application using the same Power Platform. And you can also extend over a period of time, and you can also start building these your apps. And some limited capabilities of these are also there in Office 365. For example, when you integrate Teams and the apps, anything that you put onto Teams is on a record on the Power Platform, it is going and staying in Teams, which is then putting in SharePoint. So all that is together. And because all that is together, security can be done. You can also buy the security SKUs for the mobile devices that people are taking to the field and ensure that they can't copy data outside the work profile. So that adds to the security aspect also. If you find some device is lost, then you can wipe the device from here itself. And that security then works for Exchange, SharePoint, Teams, and everything. So we're not making you do multiple things. You can also do conditional security, multi-factor authentication, etc. Because today this has become extremely important. Earlier, it was okay to build a digital factory and not worry so much about security. Today, it's the other way around. You literally need to first build the security and then build your digital estate and your digital factory to control whatever is happening. What is new and what will happen is something that I wanted to touch. And in the modern work side, we have a very big leader. And he says, when you, after 100 years, look at what OpenAI is doing, you'll find it that this is the time when the real digital world and electronic world started in business and in our personal lives. That's the thing that he's saying. And he's saying, just like today, without touch, you can use a mobile device. Without mouse, you can't use a PC. Very soon, without OpenAI and what we call co-pilots, you will not be able to use IT. And there are many technical models and technical terms like GPT-3, GPT-4, Codex, Dolly, etc. that are there. But essentially, they provide us a lot of services which help build what is known as large language models, which understand the English or coming up the non-English languages that are there. You can ask it to write a poem. You can ask it to be an assistant as you're trying to search for something. You can do code generation, etc., etc. And all that has now started flowing into an applications because there's a limitless generation you can do with few lines of input. There's a video here. I will just take 2 minutes of it because we are away. We will not be able to run the whole video. It's a 10-minute video, but the link to this, I think I had provided in the mail. Let's try if this is going to work for me. Where's my mouse gone? Yeah. Can you hear what I'm saying or you can't hear? Were you able to hear anything, Rajiv?
I can hear you, but the video I think won't.
Okay, just give me 1 more second. I'll run it again and let's see if you can hear it now.
Building an equipment tracking app. So let's build that.
So
in those descriptions, you can be as detailed or as brief as you want. One of the real interesting things that we've seen is people can come in. Some people are really brief. They say equipment tracking. Some people say, hey, I would really like, and they're very polite to the bot.
Do I have to be polite to the AI or is it okay?
You should be polite to the Copilot, but no, you don't have to. You can be as brief as you would like.
Okay. I'll try to be kind to it. So this is cool. So it generated some sample data so I can kind of get a feel for how this is going to look in Dataverse.
It first of all interpreted that natural language. It then used sources from the internet to create a base schema. So it said you want the ID, you want the name, you want equipment. It then also generated some sample data on top of that. We mapped that to our data types, and it's given you a preview as here in the first step.
And I see that it looks like it's taking advantage of Dataverse here. Like this is a real auto number column.
Yeah, so
I'll pause it here and move it much ahead where the app is already created, and let's see how
it's still actually there. It's just on the second.
And that will give you an idea of how IT will change and why quickly you should embrace this and move all your data to
But what you've got on this first screen is the app Copilot. So this is that same conversational power, but built into your app for you so that you can now ask questions about the data within your app.
So I can ask it a question about my data. So let's ask this first one it's suggesting. What is the most popular equipment item that is checked out? That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And the cool part about this isn't just like a public chat API that you're asking information, like general information about the internet. This is actually connected and using the data that you have within your app. So just like in Power Apps, how you can connect a data source to a table or a form or a gallery, now you can also connect it to the app Copilot and get this power of conversation over your data.
So we have to look at the app that it built in. So let's take a look at that. And so it looks like basically everything I usually have a 3-screen app for, but all in one screen. I've got a list of all the data. I can view each record and edit and create.
Yeah, we took an opportunity here to make a few other updates to our app template as well. So yes, people would know and love the traditional 3-screen app. We've now updated this with a more modern look. It's actually a fully responsive app that can do the same things. You can still filter over data, view your records, create and edit as well. But you've got that now in a single responsive screen that'll run on the web or on mobile.
So this app Copilot control is really cool. Can I add this to an app that I've already got?
Absolutely. So we add it to the homepage by default, but you can actually get them then to add in other parts of your apps or other apps that you've built. Right now we're in preview, so you do need to go into the settings, preview features, and turn it on. Once you've done that, you'll see it in the input.
So I'll pause that there, but I just wanted to show that now that the apps that are getting built, the app, you can kind of tell the app what to do by typing and tomorrow by voice, and it starts building it. And that's not so critical. The critical thing is that the user can also do the same to work with the app. So when the driver is driving, probably once he stops this thing, he can just type saying, hey, tell me something. So he doesn't have to be over sophisticated and educated. As long as he can type something, it will work. I think that was the thing about it. Let me move to the next slide. Sorry.
Adding.
Right.
Tell it what app.
So what is there in Power Platform is also there in our sales, marketing, customer service, supply chain, and operations. And that's where I wanted to stop, saying that this is the mission, and we'll have probably a few minutes for question and answers. And do reach out to Rajiv, the Zoxima team, and us for more questions that you might have. And hopefully we've been able to kind of, get you to a place where, say, you might start simple, but then you can get as sophisticated as you want because the technology is there, it is available, it is in India, data stays in India, it is secure, and it is auto kind of integrated with the other dynamic technologies that you might use in terms of Azure, in terms of business applications, in terms of security, or in terms of modern work, which is your Office 365 team, SharePoint, etc. So I'll pause there and allow you to look at how you want to move forward.
Yeah, Prakash, we have a couple of questions in the chat. So one is about, I'm starting from the bottom. So is the default WAN sales available in Business Central 365? WAN sales is available on Power Platform, and Business Central again is on Power Platform. So WAN sales deployment on Business Central is absolutely no issues. You can add, Prakash, in case.
Yeah. So what happens is that then you need to have the Business Central licenses, and they have their own cost, etc. So you will have to look at its cost effectivity. What the Zoxima team has done is that they've built it in spite of Business Central, because there could be so many customers who may not have Business Central, who might have FNO, or who might have SAP, or who might have Oracle, or any other ERP. And the price points are much different from the licensing pricing perspective. So that's where it is. And then that WAN sales can be super customized for the micro vertical that you represent. The way WAN sales might be happening for one industry versus other, and for one company in that industry versus other might be different. So it is possible that you could use the BC 365 Business Central Dynamics Business Central 365 related van sales, but this is much different in its avatar, and you might want to review this to figure out if and the pricing of it to figure out whether you want to go with BC or this. That's what I would say.
Yeah, BC is more on the ERP side. This would be
Yeah.
the van sales side could be our vans, could be distributor vans, and
Yeah.
rightly you said, and maybe the question is also might be triggered. I'm not sure. It could be this. Sir might already have a BC available.
Yeah.
The that's one. And then we have some requests for connections from Naveen sir. We'll surely get in touch with you, sir. Then there is a question regarding can we do multiple orders, one sales invoice in DMS? Yes, sir, we can do that. We can club orders and create invoices, and one is clubbing orders against one invoice, and it could be one order and multiple invoices as well. Could be that scenario also. We may have stock out situations in certain products, and we might want to ship it differently, or there could be other priority. So we also do that stock management from invoicing and delivery perspective. Then there is a question from Mr. This is van sales module, so we'll in touch with you. You've requested for us in touch. I think questions are those. The connection
So
requests.
Rajiv, I just wanted to have two questions. One is I wanted to request the audience to put in the chat from which city they are. And then second, I wanted to figure out if there's a way for the audience to have a deeper look at the app and how they reach out to you for the deeper look of the app. So anyone requires to have a deeper look and a one-on-one demo of the app, I would request them to put it into the chat window.
There's a couple of requests which have already come, and Yogesh has put in the number. I will put in my number also, because we have this exclusive event for senior leadership of organizations. So with whenever there is a request from your side, we will handle it promptly. That's what I can say, and we'll be very happy to demonstrate the capabilities, work with you in designing an optimal solution and a roadmap alongside Microsoft, because Microsoft, what we've seen is because of the breadth of the offering and the investments which are being done in technology, it kind of brings in a kind of a platform which stays with you for a much longer period of time, and continues to give you benefit over a period of time. So we don't have many questions now, Prakash, so we can close now. Thank everyone.
Yeah. And I have a last request, Rajiv. I have put a lot of links which would be useful, and you can have a look at them on your way back home as you travel. Just copy these off, because I don't think the links, the chat will be available once you get off of this call.
We'll share it. Prakash, separately with the participants.
Thank you.
Thank you so very much. Thanks everyone for joining. Really appreciate your taking this time out. Have a lovely evening.